Doc Owen here with Action Figure Times. Today we're going to be concluding Arkham Days, and in doing so we're going to be looking at the Square Enix Joker figure. Now, I had a lot of comments about the Batman figure, my Square Enix Batman stuff, and a couple things that I guess, let me tell you the framework I'm coming from. A lot of people said, well, you know, it's a high-end figure, it's delicate, it's kind of like Hot Toys and things, and I have the same complaint about Hot Toys. If I'm going to spend a lot of money on a figure, then I want to be able to play with it. I'm not just paying for the sculpt. Let's just be honest, McFarlane Toys makes some awesome sculpts. I mean, beautiful stuff. Very detailed, very intricate, and they're less than 20 bucks. Yeah, I can't pose them. That's the reason that I buy these. And so if I spend 60 bucks on a toy, I want to be able to play with it. I want to be able to move it around. I want all the pieces to be there. That really irritated me about that with the Square Enix Batman, the piece of his belt just completely gone. I mean, if you're going to make it superposable, to me there's the expectation you want me to play with it. And so the same thing is with Hot Toys. I've got a set of figures. In fact, I'm thinking about using them for the backdrop next, of the 13-inch from DC Collectibles, formerly DC Direct. And they were, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks. Some of them were 75. Cloth costumes. And yeah, they didn't have the precision sculpts that Hot Toys did, but I can play with them, most of them. I mean, why should I spend $300 on something that I can't really play with and I can just pose? I mean, if it's just a sculpt, then I mean, let's have the $20 McFarlane toy and make the arm go up and down or something like that. Anyway, that's just kind of my thought on it. That's the framework in which I come from. So I know I was kind of harsh on it, but I'm a guy that likes to play with my toys. And if it's going to be like, I respect DC Direct for their sculpts, even though they're basically statues and stuff. But even with them, I'm only paying up to $25. But anyway, that's just me. Okay, just kind of my take on it. If you're going to be high-end, then you ought to have high-end playability. Here we are looking at Square Enix Joker. He's got the window box on the front, window box down the top. Some very cool shots. Now, one of the things that I was trying to figure out with this is I was looking at the sculpt, and I was looking at, like, in particular, the side picture, and I'll have to show you his face. And I was trying to decide, is it the same sculpt? Because maybe it's just that they have excellent photographs, especially here. Man, they've really got some cool stuff there on their photographs. Far better than what I'm going to be able to do. But I wasn't sure whether it's the same sculpt or not. Very, very nice packaging, large packaging. Now, he's going to take me a little bit to come out, and considering the pieces that fell off on my Batman, I'm going to go ahead, cut here, and take it apart and kind of make sure I don't tear it up. Okay, I'll be right back with you. Okay, so here we are looking at the Joker. Now, just so you know, I did have a very, very difficult time getting this hand, which is probably for his gun. Speaking of guns, the hand was hard coming out. This is kind of cool. That thing, that's kind of a neat rod there. And then he had the Joker teeth, as you all know from in the first movie, and even in first video game, and even in the second, you had to use your batarang, pop these open, and they were kind of neat. And I'll show you all that close up. Now, let's talk about the face. By the way, I was talking about the sculpt. It's just the way that they lit it here. It is the exact same face on the thing. Let me just say this. This is a very, oh crud, he keeps falling off. I'll talk about that in a minute. This is a very, very cool sculpt. You'll be able to see it better when I take you into the close-ups, but I really like this sculpt. The detail on this thing is amazing. I mean, it is very, very nice. I like, there's not a whole lot I don't like about the sculpt in and of itself. Chain looks nice. He's got his flower here. it's got a very, very rugged, rough appearance. The shirt is very well textured. I like that. I like the lines on his face. Let's see if I can bend him down a little bit. I like the shadowing, the dark. I mean, I think they did a very, very good job. Maybe I won't even have to show you this close up. But as you look at it, you can see how detailed it is. I mean, it's very, very nice. Of course, for 60 bucks it ought to be. Now, he's got the patch on the knee, just like the rest of the figures, and it's got a nice little hidden joint in there. I mean, you figure it's supposed to be pants anyway. He's got his spats on. Check that out. That looks... You know what, I'm probably going to have to do a close-up because this is kind of blurry. I tell you what, we'll go back to that. Now, let's talk about the... Oh, one thing I do like is these cuffs. This is very cool, his cuffs on there. But his arms, I was trying to replicate this pose right here on the Joker, and his arms keep popping off. I mean, like popping off, like with regularity, like, and it's got an interesting joint. I don't know. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's got kind of an interesting joint. It looks like it's supposed to be able to move a little bit, but it really doesn't. Now, again, you're going to think I'm being critical of this figure. I actually really wanted to like this figure. I really wanted to like the Batman figure. But a $60 figure should not pop loose like that. Don't ask me to spend 60 bucks and all I get is a very, very cool sculpt. Now, the tails are kind of cool. That's neat. Now, somebody had made a comment, what's the big deal about a figure doing splits? Well, generally it means that the joint articulation is such that you're going to be able to pose them any way you want to, is what I've found. Now, sometimes they make it where they can split, but they can't move their legs forward. I understand that. Not only that, I personally like to kick people in the head, and I haven't for the last probably year and a half or so, maybe, because I injured one of my adductors, and so if I can't kick people in the head right now, I mean, I'm getting back to it. I'm a lot higher now, but if I can't do it, I want my action figures to be able to do it. Now, as far as height, okay, let's look at this big boy here. This... Let's see if I can pull this table back a little bit and you can see it. This is the DC Collectibles Joker. So, I mean, he's mondo huge. Now, to give you a comparison to Harley. Now, this Harley only has one ponytail because I dropped her on the ground and the other one snapped off. This is the DC Collectibles one. I'm getting kind of tired of having to fix DC Collectibles toys. Now, as far as Batman, Batman's a little taller. I saw in the Nightwing review that somebody said that they thought Batman was 6'3" and Dick was 6'7". Just so you know, if you had a 6'7" guy with dark hair running around Gotham, he wouldn't have a secret identity. They go, that's Nightwing, that's the lanky dude that jumps and flips and stuff. Nah. And besides, Bruce should always be taller. Now, They actually look very, very good together. I'm sure you could do some fight scenes. I've got the regular hands on here where you could point at him. No, you don't, Joker. No, you don't. Watch out. I would hit you, Batman, but my arm might come off. In fact, I'll take my arm off and beat you with it. Psh, psh, psh. Anyway, let's look at the Joker up close. Okay, so here we are looking at him up close. One thing I've got to warn you about before we get started is, as you see that is actually a paint fleck off of him, just so you know, okay, that he is flecking paint. He does come with some accessories. Cool little gun there. That's kind of neat with a 2-finger trigger. This is the hand that matches it. I had to put that on, so that's kind of cool. He does come with the Joker teeth, like we said, with a little wind up. That looks kind of neat. Right? And then he comes with 2 other hands. The flat hand I took off, and then the fist. All right. Now, let me say I really, really like this sculpt. I really, really like the paint application. I don't know that it looks anything like the guy in the video game, per se, but I think he'd be kind of hard to match. I love his nose. You can see it's kind of pointy. Now, there he does kind of look like the video game. But I really do like the sculpt. The paint app is awesome. I think they do well. You've got some head tilt, so you can give him some different looks. You know, make him whimsical and things. You see the his uniform, or his suit, his purple seersucker. They did a great job painting the lines in. That's very, very nice. I really like the green bow tie. He's got the gold chain there, and underneath here it's kind of got like a little bitty kind of a belt buckle. Now remember, they do have these kind of plastic panties that they use to hide the ball joints there. Looking at the sleeves, now his arm, I mean, it just pops right off. Now, I was finally able, if you go to aftimes.com, I was finally able to get close to that shot I was trying to produce, but I actually had to take the arm off, bend it, and then insert it the way that I needed it to be. I think that's kind of bogus. That looks like it's supposed to twist, but honestly, these things have been coming apart, so I really don't want to break a $60 figure. More than you can place back is like that. Cufflinks look good. Nice paint apps and things. I think that they did a good job with those. The pants, he's got his little his patch there. Now, one thing I thought that they did was kind of neat is I think they were trying to make it look like he had his the seersucker down the side. I thought that was a cool touch, and that's supposed to look more like the pad. That's a very, very good detail. The back just looks like chain link, really. Spats, there you go. Not much feet. I did have trouble having him stand up on his own. Oh, sorry. Now, he also comes with some, let me see if I can get his arm back in here. He also comes with some instructions just like this. Now, I have to say, again, I've paid $60 for this figure. Now, I really can't play with him all that well. He does have some articulation in his legs. The panties kind of limit it, but he can almost Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he does have some movement. He is posable, but honestly, for $60, I really would expect a little bit more. I wouldn't want my paint to fleck. I like the detail of the figure. I just wish I could play with it. I mean, I don't see spending this much, $60 for a figure I can't really play with. The piercing eyes, the smile, the teeth, they did an excellent, excellent job as far as the sculpt does. But so did McFarlane, or does McFarlane. Well, this is the end of Arkham Days. I hope you've enjoyed looking at it. If I get a chance, I'm going to try to do a review of all the figures together. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that, so don't quote me on it. But I've enjoyed spending this time with you. Whether we agreed or disagreed, we got to give a good look at the toys. I really, really wanted to like this figure. And overall, I like him. I just would not spend $60 on him again. But, if you haven't played the game, play both of them. Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, great games. Special shout out to DC Collectibles. They really did right by us, helping us get everything together that we needed to do. I think it's 20 or 21 days by now, maybe 22. Hope you've enjoyed looking at all this cool stuff. Drop us a line, subscribe, like our videos. It really helps us with our content and things like that. Especially with this figure, I took a lot of different close-up shots, some comparison shots and things like that. Come to aftimes.com, you'll be able to see that, and I even tried to replicate some poses and create some new ones. Maybe you can take a look at those. Anyway, this is Doc Owen reminding you to be extraordinary. I've enjoyed spending Arkham Days with you. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, and even when we disagreed, I really appreciate you watching and commenting. Sorry if I do complain a lot about some of the stuff, but to me, you need to know about my complaints rather than just the stuff I think is super cool, because it's normally the complaints that people decide whether to spend their hard-earned dollars on. But anyway, Doc Owen here with Action Figure Times. See you next time on aftimes.com.